Alright, today's going to be a bit of a different video. It's still going to be a build video, but as you can see, I have this build that I'm about to show you maxed out at a 99 overall. It's a crafty inside-out shot eraser. I have him looking like Cooper Flagg here in the park, and I'm going to show you guys the entire build. I'm going to put the Cooper Flagg face scan at the end because it looks pretty good, and I'm going to show you guys a bunch of clips that I got with this build, as well as a full gameplay where I just chop out some good plays that I get in the rec. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys exactly what the build is. So I'm going to go back to the menu, I'm going to edit the build and show you guys exactly how to make this build. Right now, I have it looking like Cooper Flagg. I didn't make this build with Cooper Flagg in mind. I made the best build that I want to have the most fun with on the game, which is a 6'10" small forward. I'm going to show you guys the exact build starting now. All right, like I said, it's a 6'10" small forward, 201 pounds. So it's a very small forward, and it's a 7'1" wingspan, which is very, very decent. So as you see here, copy these down exactly if you want to make the build the same way I did. This build is also based around a bunch of cap breakers. So if you don't have a bunch of cap breakers, you're not going to be able to make this build to its fullest potential. You are still going to be able to make this build very solidly. So as we're going forward here, I'm going to show you guys all the attributes. 75 close shot is tied to, I believe, driving layup. So if I lower it, then the driving layup is not 85. I did want to have 85 driving layup just to make sure I get silver layup mixed master. This build is a menace going toward the rim. It's very nice to have this 85 driving layup. 89 driving dunk is a weird spot because you do get the Hall of Fame aerial wizard, but you still don't get the gold posterizer yet. What you're going to do is spend 4 cap breakers on your driving dunk to max this out to a 93. Your vertical is already an 80, so you're going to get up the gold posterizer, and you're also going to unlock 2 sets of contact dunks. If you look here in the animation glossary, you go to dunks and you go to the contact dunks. You're going to get the pro contact dunks off 2 with the 87 driving dunk and the 75 vert, and you're also going to be able to get the pro contact dunks off 1 just without using any cap breakers, which is very nice. The reason you're upgrading the cap breakers on your driving dunk is to make sure you get the gold posterizer badge. And on this build, you also do get pro big man contact dunks, which is very strange because it's a small forward, but since you're above 6'10", or at least 6'10" in this case, then all you have to have is the 80 standing dunk and the 60 vertical. So you'll be able to get your pro big man contact dunks, your pro dunks off 2 and 1. So if this build's going to have 3 sets of contact dunks, you can definitely drive down the lane and get a bunch of dunks on people. I have a bunch of clips of me doing that I'm going to show later in the video. 81 standing dunk we kind of already mentioned. The reason it's 81 instead of 80 is to get the silver rise up badge. 60 post control is kind of tied to something, I believe. So we did also want to make sure we get bronze post fade phenom. The only reason we have that is just make sure we can shoot something in the post if we shoot mid-range shots. On this build, you're not really going to be shooting mid-ranges because the mid-range shot is a 70 rating. You're going to be shooting a lot more threes. And the nice thing about this build is you only need 2 cap breakers to upgrade your 3-point shot up to an 86. So what you're going to choose on this build is shooting specialization. You're going to throw 2 cap breakers on your 3-point ball to get up to an 86. And from there, you can you're going to get the silver deadeye. You're still going to have bronze shifty shooter, unfortunately, and you are also going to have bronze limitless range from using those cap breakers. And what I would recommend using your +1s and +2 badges on, make sure you use your +2 badge on set shot specialist. Get that thing up to Hall of Fame as soon as possible, and you can use your +1 on deadeye to get that up to gold. It's very solid on the build, and you're going to be knocking down shots all over the place. 94 free throws and max rating. I did want a build that shoots the free throw every single time in rec, which is the reason I have this so high. You're going to be shooting free throws. You can throw in literally any free throw animation that you want to, and you're still going to be able to knock down the shot. So now, going over to the playmaking, the reason it looks so strange is because you're also going to use cap breakers on this. This build is fully based around cap breakers, a bunch of them. I believe I used 14 or 15 cap breakers on this build. I made it about a month ago. It's just now that I'm making the video. So it's been a while since I made the build, but I made it when I originally got to starter 5, which gives you 3 extra cap breakers. So on the build, pass accuracy 76 is a given on all my builds. Basically, I'm never having lower than a 76. I want all these silver badges. Don't really care about bailout because it's not great this year, but I want all these silver passing badges on my builds. 69 ball handle. You can spend cap breakers on this and you're going to get up to at least a 75. I believe I only spent 3 cap breakers on this, maybe even 2 to get up to 75. And 70 speed with ball, you're not going to be able to get up to the higher speed with ball rating. I believe the maximum on the build is 72, so there's no point in going higher than 70. Don't worry about spending extra attributes on that. You're going to get your bronze lightning launch, and that is all you'll need there. You can use a tier 2 badge, max +2, on your lightning launch to get this up to gold, and you'll be flying around the court. Interior defense at a 77 is meant to just give you the gold paint patroller once you get your block upgraded with cap breakers. So you're going to spend cap breakers on your block as well. 4 cap breakers here to get your block all the way up to a 93 rating. You're going to have gold paint patroller, and unfortunately you do need to spend cap breakers on vertical, which I didn't think about when making the build. So you can get the Hall of Fame high flying denier. You would have the block rating, but you won't have the vertical when you first make the build. So unfortunately, when you do get new cap breakers later down in the future, you can spend them on your vertical and get this up to a Hall of Fame high flying denier instead of just gold. But on my build currently that you're going to see in the clips in the gameplay, I only do have gold high flying denier. 74 64 steel is just to get the silver interceptor badge. There's also nothing else to spend it on, so I bumped it up to 74. If you were at 73 steel, there's literally nothing else I'd rather throw attributes on, so we kept it at 74. 83 perimeter defense is to make sure you get silver pick dodger and a bunch of good badges here. You're going to get a bronze movable enforcer, silver challenger, gold off-ball pest, and silver pick dodger like I mentioned earlier. So this build's going to be very, very solid on defense, especially the fact that it's 6'10". It is a little bit skinny in the paint because you're not going to be playing you're not going to be playing center on this build. Luckily, you're going to be playing either power forward or small forward most of the time, and you can play both of those positions really well. Now, looking at the rebounding, this is one thing that after making the build a month ago, I would actually change on the build. Find a way to get your defensive rebound up to 80 instead of offensive rebound. Offensive rebound obviously is decent and solid, but having the 65 defensive rebound means you're not going to jump as much for those rebounds. I would recommend, if you can do so, then lowering this down to a lower rating and getting the defensive rebound up to 80. But look how much cheaper it is. The reason I actually made offensive rebound 80 and defensive rebound 65 is because look how cheap it is to get these silver rebounding badges with your offensive rebound. You don't have to worry about your attributes elsewhere. So I would still recommend, if you're making the build exactly like me, it still plays fine. You can still get 3 to 4 defensive rebounds a game. And you actually will have some games with double doubles with offensive rebounds. I'm going to show you one real quick here. So as you can see here in this screenshot, I had 24, 11 rebounds, and all 11 were offensive rebounds. So I literally had a double double with offensive rebounds in this game, which is absolutely insane. That's what you're going to be doing on this build, because the offensive rebounds are going to be immaculate. You're going to have an 80 vertical and an 80 offensive rebound. You're going to be jumping all over the place on that side of the ball. But as soon as you try and close the possession with a defensive rebound, your build will not be jumping as much for those. So moving on from the rebounding, we do have speed and agility. Unfortunately, not maxed out on the build. So you can spend future cap breakers on your speed and agility. Actually, what I did do on my build, I'm going to show you guys the exact cap breakers I used. The agility rating I have is 78 rating because I used one cap breaker on agility and it bumped it up by 3, which is insane. So the speed still has room to grow on the build that I have currently. It's still an 80 rating, but you can spend cap breakers on this to bump it up to 82, I believe. Agility is maxed out at 83 when you spend one cap breaker on it. Strength at 73 is to make sure you get the gold strong handle when you do upgrade your ball handle. You can also get bronze immovable, bronze brick wall, bronze post down or post lockdown, and then you also get silver physical finisher, which isn't bad at all. 80 vertical, you're going to want to throw cap breakers on this in the future when you unlock more to make sure you get up all the way. You're going to get Hall of Fame pogo stick as well as the Hall of Fame high flying denier. So I'm not going to even, I'll go forward and show you guys the build comparisons, but then I'm going to go straight back into the build. Unfortunately, on this build, you do get T-Mac, Jaden McDaniels, and Andre Karolinko. This has changed since I last did it because I got Cooper Flagg as the #1 build comparison on the build. But I'm going to go back to builds. I'm going to go into my Cooper Flagg build. As you can see, I have a bunch of builds here if I go to my career. So yeah, you go to my career, and then I literally have 599 overall builds. We're going to go into the crafty inside out shot eraser. His build name did change because of the cap breakers I spent on the build, which is the crafty inside out shot eraser is the one I've decided to use. Now, as you can see here, these are the cap breakers I spent on the build. 4 cap breakers on driving dunk. You do actually need to spend 3 cap breakers on your 3-point shot to get up to 86. So you're going to use 2 of your build specializations and then 1 of your normal cap breakers on 3-point shot. Only need to spend 2 cap breakers on ball handle. You get up to 76. There's no point in going higher than this. There's no reason to spend the extra 2 to get up to a 78. There's no badges, no animations you unlock there. And then the block also, you spend 4 on that, get up to a 93. And I spent 1 on my agility to get up to a 78. So on the build, the main cap breakers I would recommend using after you use all of these cap breakers like I have, spend 3 on your vertical as soon as possible. Once you do spend those 3 on vertical, you'll get up to a Hall of Fame pogo stick as well as Hall of Fame high flying denier because you already have the block rating for that. And other than that, there's really not a bunch of cap breaker potential on the build. This is the build that I've been rocking with. I'm going to show you guys a couple clips here. I'm not going to go into a gameplay actually because that would make the video a bit too long, but I am also going to throw the Cooper Flagg face creation at the end of the video here. As you can see, if you go into appearance, it does look pretty decent, especially with the jersey on as well as the undershirt. I'm also going to show you guys all the animations before I show you any clips that I am using. I'm just going to give you guys my jumper. This is the jumper that I actually love on a lot of my builds. It is the chicken jump shot. So we're going to go straight into the jump shot creator and we're going to actually edit this one. And if you go down to blending and speed, this is exactly what I would recommend using. So this base is Jonathan Isaac. The upper release 1 is Kevin Durant and the upper release 2 is Jabari Smith Jr. This is my favorite jump shot for big men that I've seen this entire year. You only need a 73 3-pointer to use this, or 73 mid-range even. And it has an A+ 3-point height. The only thing bad about it is timing stability, but I feel like I green every single shot with this jumper. And as you can see, the animation blending here, this part, the visual cue, you can fully decide on your own. I prefer release for all of my builds. I use release on every single jumper I use, but these are the blendings that I'm using on the build. So jump shot, obviously a very important animation that you need to know on the build. Free throw, I'm using Chet Holmgren because they don't have a Cooper Flagg free throw in the game yet, and Chet Holmgren is, I believe, the closest to his actual free throw, which I'm trying to make. Go-to shot, pull-up on Caro. This is the best one you can get on a 6'10" or higher player. Dribble, pull-up, normal 2. Spin jumper, normal 1. Spin jumper normal. There's not really anything else that you can put on these hop jumpers and spin jumpers. Normal to hop jumper is actually very solid. You can get some decent space when you're separating from people and going for reverse layups and stuff like that. Dunk style, I always just name mine first, but we're going to go over to dunk style creator. I'm going to show you guys the dunks that I'm using on the build. So first, on the 2-foot moving dunks, the only dunk I am using is pro. I believe I don't have anything else equipped. Yeah, I could equip some baseline reverses off 2, but I prefer off 1 dunks. I have tomahawks, uber athletic tomahawks off 1 equipped, reverses baseline off 1, as well as the pro contact dunks off 1, because obviously we want all the contact dunks equipped that we can have, and we don't have anything else equipped on the animations. Standing dunks, we have the pro big man standing dunks like I mentioned, and we have all of these dunks. I can actually unlock elite basket rim pulls, which I don't know why I didn't have equipped. That's unfortunate that I didn't have that. And then on signature dunks, the only ones I'm going to be using here are going to be Dwight Howard and Karl Anthony Towns. Dwight Howard gives you some power dunks, like you see him going down the rim. You're going to rip the rim off basically with these dunks. I really like having them on the build. And Karl Anthony Towns is a super underrated dunk package that is good for players like this who you want to play like Giannis and stuff. You can be flying around the court with these dunk packages. It's better than Amari Stoudemire in my eyes. I like the way these dunk look. They look like Giannis, they look like Cooper Flagg. He's just flying to the rim. And Cat has a great dunk package this year, which a lot of people haven't really talked about. I very much enjoy Cat's dunk package. And alley-oops, of course, you equip every single alley-oop you can possibly have on the build. Make sure you equip all of these if you are playing the game a bunch. So layup normal, we are going to use the Giannis layup package. One of the main things on the build is actually Giannis related as well. I want to make sure I get over this super quickly. Is the Giannis crossover. Giannis crossover is the best move in the open court that any big man can have. It's absolutely absurd. That second animation, look at this. This animation is insane, and actually this one too. So the Giannis animation, I'm going to show you guys in the clips later, is something I use every single time I'm going on the court, and it works great every time I go down. The Giannis layup animation normal is kind of just like a quick scoop layup. Even though as a big man you can't really equip a scoop layup, having an 85 driving layup is kind of overkill, but I do make basically every layup I shoot because I have such a high layup rating. The reverse animation I have is Zion Williamson. I go for reverse layups all the time, and it's super nice. His layup keeps it close to the rim, so it's very difficult to block, and his reverse layup animation is just perfect in my opinion. Layup floater default big, I actually think is better than Bam Adebayo. A lot of people love the Bam Adebayo floater because you can shoot from so far away, but default big works like a charm for me. I don't know what it is about it, but I love using the default big layup floater. The quick scoop, unfortunately, there's literally no other option for a big other than default big quick scoop animation. The quick scoops aren't that bad if you get that first animation that it shows. Like this one is very solid if you can get that off, because as with having a high layup rating like this, you're going to be able to knock down these layups all the time. And then for the rest of these, get hop step, euro step, and spin. I do have Giannis equipped hop step as well. Giannis hop step is very far and fast. I do like using hop steps on this build. Unfortunately, euro steps they made very difficult to trigger this year. Last year they were way easier and way better to use in 2K25, but this year euro steps are basically obsolete. I do have Giannis equipped for that just in case. Post fade, I have Kevin Durant. I'm basically never shooting post fades. I have a 70 mid-range shot. Joel Embiid post hook is the default post hook that every post scorer should use, and I think it's the best one in the game. Post top shot is Harrison Barnes. Basically, like I said, I'm almost never using these. And post go-to shot Kevin Durant, I almost never use this one either. It is a decent little animation if you want to shoot that, but motion tile I also have Giannis because I believe Giannis is one of the highest you can get with the at least 6'10", and then it has a high agility and speed requirement. I don't know if Giannis is actually legitimately that good, but I think Chet might be a little bit better for speed-wise. I do like using Giannis though. Giannis moves around the court very well. Now dribbling, it's pretty easy. The dribble style is like basically the only one you can equip is pro. I do like using pro over Giannis. Giannis, you can be kind of low to the ground and get plucked more often, but pro has a higher dribble style requirement, and it's a 70 speed with ball, which is why we have it there. And then signature size up, we're going Kevin Durant. Of course, Kevin Durant has a decent signature size up. If you're using a big man, you're going to be using these Kevin Durant combos and Kevin Durant animations most of the time when you're dribbling. The only one I'm not using that's Kevin Durant is the crossover by Giannis. And then for behind the back, I do like pro a lot. Pro behind the back going downhill is super nice. Spin pro as well. I'd prefer that over Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is just weird. You kind of whip the ball around and can turn it over sometimes. Hesitation on pro as well. I do like the pro animations this year. They're not half bad. This pro step back is what every big man's using. It's insane kind of to clear space. I'm going to show you guys some of my clips on this build now. I have a bunch of good ones that I favorited and I want to show you guys. So we'll go right into that. So I use this build in basically every single facet of the game. You can use it whenever you want. I'm throwing self lobs to myself, doing that little double clutch 360. Going against an AI player here, I know 11 in the game to 11, throw another self lob and through the legs off the glass. Like you can do anything on this build you want basically. As you can see here in the rec, this guy's going down the paint. He throws a lob. Unfortunately, I'm there to stop it. And it's a 3-steal game as you can see in the top right. Actually, you might not be able to see that, but look at me going down the lane, getting a little and one. Cooper Flagg going the stank face. And I just love the stank face animation on this game, especially when the fact that it has Cooper Flagg. I'm going to use that in a montage or something because it just looks so clean. And as you can see here, playing in the park, season 2, obviously I have my takeover activated and I get the steal, lucky steal for sure, but I jump over him, green the dunk meter. That dunk meter is basically impossible to green. I got a different dunk animation with my Aaron Gordon build on the dunk, and it literally was impossible to green because I got a full bar and it didn't work. So as you can see, another 1v1 game here. I think I'm going against an AI again, but as you can see, the AIs are just so easy to bully. I have a decent close shot rating, decent driving layup rating, and you can't actually get ankle breakers on the build, which is what I'm going to say. This build can get ankle breakers, and I'm throwing a lob to myself to finish off the game here. Another rec game, 5s, obviously against all people online, which is definitely more valuable. AI shoots a 3, and of course this build is going to get a bunch of contact dunks. I had a max +2 on my aerial wizard, or max +1 I believe, so I had it on legend in that video. And then as you can see here, we're even in the theater, I can kind of cook up and just get an ankle breaker on someone. That Paolo Banchero go-to shot, look, I'm going to hit it again. Ankle breaker, pull the 3 with that jumper. It's a green basically every single time. Into the game with that one. Super nice. And this is the last clip of the video. Just in the theater again. Obviously, I'm queuing with randoms. I don't really have a bunch of people to play with, but this man goes down the court, get the block with a 93 block at this point. And then look at this, Giannis cross, as I was saying, go down the lane. Look at the cat dunk animation. That's basically every animation I mentioned, just all in one play. So you're going to have the 93 block to get blocks like this. This build is insane in transition in the open court because of this Giannis cross. You can go around anyone going down the lane. It's a perfect dunk animation. So that is basically going to wrap it up for the Cooper Flagg build video here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it with more animations, showing some clips on the build, and just showing basically everything that I've done with my build to make it play the best possible. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know what NBA player build I should do in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.